Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining. I greatly appreciate it.
Great.
I just wanted to start off if maybe you could give me a little introduction, possibly where you got your education from, specifically in
Hmm.
economics, and kind of where your career has currently taken you as of now.
Okay, so I got my undergraduate degree in economics at UC Berkeley, and then I went to Yale for my Ph.D. And my first job was an assistant professor at Boston University, and then I went to Washington for 3 years. I was for 1 year at an economist at the Federal Reserve Board in Washington, which is where they set American monetary policy, like interest rates and right. So I was there a year, and then spent 2 years at the maybe let's see, 94, 95, maybe 3 years at the International Monetary Fund, which is they are an institution that was set up in 1944 to help countries that are not exporting enough and earning enough money from their export to pay for their imports. So it's an institution that lends to a lot of these a lot of countries, and it used to be lending to places like the UK and Europe and Japan, but now they almost just exclusively lend to developing countries who sometimes run into problems in having enough foreign currency to buy foreign goods to satisfy their imports. So I was there for 3 years, and then I guess I missed academia. So I there was an opening at USC in sort of my areas of interest, like international economics and East Asia. So I got applied and got the job, and that was a long time ago. So that must have been like 25 years ago, and I've been at USC since. So yeah, it's been good. I like being a economist. Careers are very varied. You see, you can I mean, you don't even need a PhD, but you can do. Yeah, there's all sorts of careers in business and in think tanks and in government and financial institutions and in tech, and then you can go to you can get a master's if you want, or if you want to be a professor, you can get a PhD. But aside from the professorial track, there's just a lot of given your depending on your skills and what you're interested in, there's just a lot of options. Yeah, but I just happen to like an academic career, so that's why I've been here. But
Nice. Personally, as a junior in high school, USC is one of my top favorite schools by far. I toured it, it was gorgeous, it was amazing. And
oh, I see. Hmm?
yeah, and so I'm doing their like intro to business
Hmm.
like summer program this summer.
Oh, you're going to USC to do the summer program.
Correct, yes.
Good for you. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just kind of adding on to that, as it's an amazing college overall, is there anything you kind of notice about USC's curriculum, specifically to economics, that might be unique in comparison to other colleges?
Mm, yeah, I think one of the things I find USC very uh, I mean, the econ major is, there's again, you have to look at the catalog for the specific courses because I don't remember them, but they're not a whole lot of requirements. So you can double major and study other fields and uh, etc. So it's a very uh, flexible program. So students. I mean, students kind of do all sorts of things. Some start clubs, and they it's in LA, so I've had students who uh, try their hand in the entertainment industry, like they try to get jobs in talent agencies, and sometimes even actresses and actors. So that doesn't have much to do with economics, but still, you have people trying all sorts of things, taking advantage of Los Angeles, and there's lots of internship opportunities. So they do internships at real estate firms and join various clubs on campus. So yeah, what's the difference? I'd say students are very entrepreneurial. It's classrooms are just part of the education, and they get involved in sort of many other things, which I think is a good thing. So I'd say that's a characteristic. And I mean, not a lot of colleges can take advantages. It's located in a huge city, and there's many opportunities that arise from that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I really
Mhm.
respect about the college. I feel like they're really good about getting their students like a job or getting
Mhm.
into a nonprofit, like right out
Mhm.
of college, because ultimately that's kind of what college is about.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right. But you have to be proactive, though. That's another characteristic about USC, and that you just can't sit around. You
yeah.
have to kind of go out there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
As obviously a professor, is there anything you maybe would recommend to me or like any student that you're like, these are characteristics in a student that I do think that economics would align with them, maybe like characteristics of them being curious, or is there any like
Yeah, I mean, my son's at USC. He's majoring in he's a senior in business, and how should I put it? I mean, they have a very holistic admissions process here, to an amazing extent. And yeah, you've got to have your GPA and SAT scores and AP classes and all that. But even if you have that, um, that's not a guarantee. And they tend to look for like focus. I think extracurriculars, but extracurriculars with a focus. So you can't just say, oh, you're like doing 18 different things and barely showing up for meetings or something like that. I think what I find, that people who get into USC and thrive is they have, you can change your interest, but they have fairly well defined interests, like um, and they kind of show that on their application. So if you're doing tennis, play for all 4 years, or if you're in drama, try to go as far as you can in that. So that's the sort of thing I think, they look. Yes, of course, grades, and um, but getting a C in calculus. My son got a C, I think, or something. But it's not absolute. It's not a kill. It's not like
the final factor,
yeah,
maybe?
final factor at all. So I think that's true for a lot of schools like USC. And it's not a state school where they just kind of say you met these standards, but they really go through your application carefully. So so I think you should have a story and a focus. And I mean, it's too young to have an interest, but I think students have to say, oh, I'm really interested in business, and I'm in, then, well, you've got to demonstrate that in high school. Like, I started a company in high school, or I am the head of the Young Entrepreneurs Club, or stuff like that. So that's, I mean, this, but that's much better than just kind of doing a bunch of things. And the focus should be related to what you want to study at US. It's too. I think it's um, used to be that people can show up, and then in college you sort of figure out what you want. But now I think a lot of the students, at least in their packages, show some real, demonstrated focus. So that's kind of, and if it's business, it's business. Economics, show some genuine interest. Yeah, because not just say I'm interested in it, but you've got to show. And also, I'm glad you're spending time at USC, because one of the things is that they don't want to admit people who aren't coming, right? So they want to admit people who, I mean, they don't, a lot of people still don't come, but really have a genuine interest in the school. So if you can, I recommend students to visit and if not, like try to show some demonstrated interest. That's important. I mean, that's like, so I'd say a lot of demonstrated. I think a lot of students who have great GPAs and test scores and don't get into place like USC and other schools, is that the admissions officers would say, well, why here? Why are they interested in us? And they don't really show any interest. So I think that's really what happens is, oh, I didn't get in. Well, I mean, I think that's really where it is. So it's not just true at USC. These things are common to every, especially private schools that you apply to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I really
Yeah.
appreciate your feedback. And I think that just kind of quality over quantity in the end
Yeah.
is super
Absolutely.
important.
Quality over quantity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the final question I have for you,
Mm-hmm.
as professor, obviously doing great in your craft, what kind of got you into the field? Was there like a moment where it just sparked, I am interested in economics, or did you always know?
I like social science, but I was a slow reader. So it was like so I don't think I would have been a good lawyer. And, medicine was, I don't know, was not particularly my interest. So I couldn't have, I don't think law would have worked out. And the other social sciences just requires a lot of reading, but econ doesn't. And I had very, very strong analytical skills. I mean, math, yes, but not, I don't know. In those days, they had the SAT analytical part. Like it's not math, but it's kind of, having a very analytical thinking. I was very good at that. So, and then I was very good at undergrad econ. So it's kind of that you sort of, when you take courses and you sort of realize, I mean, I don't want to say exception. I wasn't much good at anything else, but I was really good in economics. So you sort of realize sooner or later that you're kind of exceptional in something, and whatever it is. I mean, doesn't have to be any academic thing. Like if you're exceptional in baseball, you become a professional baseball player, or acting, actress. So actor, actress. So I think that's kind of my thing. So I was really good at it, and my fit obviously was very good in economics. So that's sort of my story, and I think people are lucky if they can find a job that pays in an occupation they're really good at. Except then everything works out fine for a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
That's my story. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is so awesome. So yeah, that really makes me feel a little bit better about it, because it's like you need to kind of it's it's great to be good at everything, but once you're good at one thing, you can just hone in on your craft, kind of
Yeah,
expand from there.
that's right. And you have to like it, of course, but usually eventually you'll like it, I guess, if you're
Yeah.
good at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It
Thank
was a
you so
pleasure.
much. Yeah, and good luck to your YouTube channel. See how you
Yes,
go.
thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye
great
bye.
rest of your afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.